from Lizzie's Roller Gems. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Friday and it is another WIP&Chat. I know, I talk a lot. Maybe that's why you guys keep on coming back. I don't know. But today is Mandie's Whip Along. And you know what? I have not posted any of the hashtag yet. I'm pretty sure it's Mandie DP 2020. I'm going to work on this all day today because I need to. And then I'm going to finally post. I don't think I have yet taken a picture because it's such a big painting. It's hard to take a picture. So I'm going to try to take a picture of what I've gotten done and what I can show you. Yeah, for my Instagram. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram, go over and check me out on Instagram. I hope I have more of this color, because that surely ain't gonna do it. But yeah, I'm so excited. Today is Friday, obviously. Hello, it's Friday. And I have 7 days off of work. Yes, I said 7. So it's going to be a good week. I am super excited. I hope you guys like that unboxing. First unboxing in a long time, right? Yeah, I know. I might still do Diamond Paint 101 this week. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do it or not. See how I feel. I had kind of planned something, but it kind of needs something in order to finish it. So yeah, I'm just babbling on about nothing that you guys know what I'm talking about, but it's okay. When you guys see the video, you'll probably understand what I mean. It has to do with sealing paintings, and a subscriber asked me she wants to see what it looks like after a few years, if the painting still looks good or if it's yellowed. I have a few from my very first, she said 3 years ago. I haven't been diamond painting for 3 years, so I don't know. But I do have diamond paintings that I did seal when I first started back in August of 2000. Well, it's probably around September 2018. That I can show you what they look like after they were sealed. And I know I sealed them pretty fast after I had finished them. So I will show you that in that video. But I kind of wanted to get the product that I used, but I lent it out to my sister, and Lord knows what she's done with it, because she moved from her boyfriend's house to my sister-in-law's, which my sister-in-law and her are still diamond painting. Yvette is working on that lagoon picture of mine that I custom ordered from the Pink Raspberry, of a place in Portugal, not on the island that my parents were from. It's another island called São Miguel, and there's a lagoon there with a little bit of a legend behind it. It is very pretty lagoon. It's half green and half blue. They said that a princess wanted to marry a shepherdman, and the king denied her. And they say the legend is she had, I don't know if she had the green eyes or the blue eyes, and he had the other color eyes. And they both cried so much that they formed these lagoons. That's the legend behind the lagoons, even though it's probably obviously not true. But it is a legend, and it's a pretty cool legend. And I always, when my mom told me that legend growing up, I always was fascinated with it. And that is why I got the custom of the lagoons. My parents were from Portugal. I think I've already told you guys this. It's story time, so I'm just gonna roll with it and figure out what I'm gonna say. So maybe I'll talk about my parents a little bit. My parents were both from the Azores, which is an island off of Portugal. Well, the Azores is islands, plural, off the coast of Portugal. And I'm pretty sure there's 9 of them. I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. But my parents were from an island called Flores. Now, Flores means flowers in English. And why they call it Flores is because the whole island is like, got those beautiful big flowers. And I'm not even sure what they're called. I'm sure my mom would be able to tell you what they're called. But of course, my mom's not here to tell me. But like it divides like land, like farmers' fields. You'll see like rows of flowers, and along the roadsides you'll see these big flowers along the road. It's like really beautiful. I've never been there. When we were little, we went back to Portugal. My parents went back to Portugal one time since they were in Canada, but it wasn't to their island, it was to the mainland. They went on vacation with friends of theirs, and we stayed at their friend's family's house. I don't even know who these people were, but whatever. All I remember, I think I told this story before, of the goat in the room. My sister said it was outside, but I remember it being inside, but I could be wrong too, because Portugal, the way it was set up was weird, so it could have been outside. I don't know, because I just have small little memories of that, because I was 4 when we went to Portugal. I think it was 3 turning on 4, so I only have little bits and pieces of the vacation that I remember. Oh, there's a train. Woohoo! We got a train today. We got a train. So that's where they're from. My mom's parents had 11 children. 10 were pretty much lived a long life. She had one sister that had died as an infant. My mom said something about a neighbor kid hit her on the head with a rock while they were playing outside. And back then you had to call the doctor from another island. And my aunt, obviously I've never met her, but my aunt passed away as an infant. I think she was like 2 when she passed away. So my mom had 10 brothers and sisters, 2 other sisters, and the rest were all brothers. I met her one sister briefly one time when we went to Massachusetts on vacation. My mom went there especially to see her. She was very old. That's all I remember of her. And I was not close with her at all. Now, my mom's sister that lives in London, she's the only last one that still is alive out of all 10 of them. And she's the one that made me my scarf for work. She's 93 years old. And there's a picture of her on Facebook of making masks for the frontline workers and everything when their masks were short. She's always been very crafty. She knits a lot. She knitted Luna some clothes, like a sweater and a hat. She's very, she probably did for my kids too. I don't even remember though. I don't know if she did, because Jason's mom, oh, she did for Alyssa, I know that for sure. But for Sarah, I don't know if she did, because Jason's grandmother was a crazy knitter. She knitted a whole box. Like, Sarah would never go cold because she had every single sweater in the century you could think of. Sarah had it. Every color of the rainbow. Man was very, very, very good knitter. And she loved to knit. She passed away since, I forget what year she passed away. It was after my mother. but she ended up moving to Niagara Falls. So I didn't get to see her very much anymore after she had moved. She was a very nice lady. I did enjoy her immensely. She was a good lady. So, with that said, I ended up talking about my in-laws. Oh, dear Lord. It's raining really hard right now outside. It's been raining since yesterday, so I might need a boat by the time this is all done. So my parents came from Portugal. My mom's family, like I was talking about my mom's family. So my mom's family, 10 kids. They were poor, obviously. My grandfather was a fisherman, which back then, if you're a fisherman, you're poor. If you were a farmer, you were rich, according to my mom. Whether this is true or not, I don't know, because I would beg to differ on it now, because the fishing industry, it's expensive to buy fish, especially octopus. But her parents, I'm pretty sure they immigrated to Flores from San Miguel at one point. Their family used to own a winery, but the winery kind of went bankrupt. Now, whether it was, I don't think it was my grandfather, maybe his parents or something, ascendants of theirs, but I don't think it was exactly them. So my mom fell in love with my father. And my father's parents were well off. My grandma and grandpa that moved to Canada, they actually lived right beside me, in the house right beside me that now the young couple live that broke up. I talked about them last week. That was my aunt's house. And my grandparents lived with my aunt. Now my aunt has since passed away, so the house got sold, and now a young Portuguese couple lives there. Well, now it's only him because he kicked the other one out. But, so I grew up with my dad's mom and dad right beside me. Because I live in the house that I grew up in. I think I've said that many of times, but if you're new to the channel, you don't know that. So I lived in this house all my life. It was my parents' house. Is it the best house in the world? No. Do I like living here? Not so much, but hey, it's cheap. And the way rent and everything is going and house market, I'm just gonna settle in here for the long haul, I think. So my grandparents lived next door. They practically raised me. I never met my mom's parents, so I never met my grandparents on my mom's side because they both died while my parents were still in Portugal. So I never got to meet them. But I do know where I get my big nose from. It's definitely from my mom's side of the family. Boy, did my grandpa have a big honker from pictures that I see. And my mom and dad came to Canada in the 60s. I'm pretty sure it was around 65 or 64 maybe. I can't exactly remember. Maybe a little bit later. My uncle from BC that has passed away since, got them, like, sponsored them or whatever you call it to come to Canada. So my parents were supposed to go to BC to be with them, but then my grandparents came here where my aunt was and told my dad, you know, Strathroy is a booming industry for like tobacco, and you can work the tobacco fields and you'll get a job right away, vice versa, vice versa. So that's why my parents decided to come here out of all places, and a lot of them from that island did immigrate to Strathroy. It feels like Strathroy is like a little mini Portuguese town because a lot of Portuguese people immigrated to this town. At one point, this town used to be like Portuguese and Dutch. That's all you saw. The Dutch owned all the farms and the Portuguese people worked on those farms and vice versa. That's pretty much the backbone of Strathroy. You still see it a lot in the Catholic school board because you see a lot of Portuguese and then you see a lot of the Dutch kids. And basically, when growing up, that's how I felt. The town was half Portuguese, half Dutch. Now, not so much. Now there's a lot more diversity in this town than there was back in the day. Like, you gotta think, I've lived here all my life, right? This town at one point was small. It's not so much small anymore, but at one point it was. So my parents moved here, and then my mom ended up working at Tender Disease, where I used to work, the slipper factory that I told you about last week or something. My mom worked there until she broke her back, and my dad worked at Cuddy's Farms. He also worked at Glendale, which was a trailer company that no longer exists in this town. But the majority of his time was spent at Cuddy Farms, which is a turkey factory. It's not really a factory, it's like turkey farms. They do have a hatchery that my aunt next door used to work at. When I told you about the little turkey she gave me, was from the hatchery. Those things grew up to be huge. My dad had to build them a pen. And you're not supposed to have birds when you work there. But all the Portuguese people did anyways. I don't know how they got away with it, but they did. I worked at Cuddy's too. Worst job ever in Canada. If you ever come to Canada, do not work at Cuddy Farms. Woo-hoo. That was the worst job in Canada. I don't know. Corn detosseling kind of goes up there with it. I did corn detosseling too as a child. Woohoo. Was that hard? I tell you. I do not like corn detosseling at all. I don't know if I ever told that story about corn detosseling. Oh my god, I have so many stories. This segment could go on forever about my stories. Because I'm old, y'all. I'm old. See, now I'm starting to talk Southern. I watch you guys way too much, and then I start talking like you guys. Isn't that funny how you watch someone and then you start talking, or if someone says a saying like a lot, and then it just goes into your head. That's how I feel when I watch YouTube. It gets in my head, and then I start to say stuff that I know that I don't usually say in my vocabulary. Okay, let's see if I have this color, because now I'm starting to need more. And look, here we go. A whole other bag. So, oh, I just dropped a bottle of juice. Speaking of juice, I need to get some more soon. And now, the Premier of Ontario has reopened stores, so I don't have to worry about my vape juice anymore. Stores with a door. So shopping malls are still not open here in Ontario. Social distance, social distance. I'm so tired of hearing about social distance. And now I don't remember where I left off on my story. See, this is what happens on story time. I forget what I was talking about. We're talking about work, Cuddy Farms and corny tossling and all that jazz. I don't know how this is ending up about my parents because it just goes all over the place. But what's a Lizzie story without it being all over the place? Because that's how the story goes. So, I think I need more coffee. Hold on, I'm going to pause. It's been 20 minutes, okay? I lasted 20 minutes. A pause. My coffee is like stone cold, but it still tastes good. Okay, I'm back. Did you guys miss me? Probably not. Oh, by the way, I got my phone on airplane mode so Helen can't interrupt. Yep, she gonna be mad this morning when she tries to call me because I know, like, it's almost time for her to call. Liz is being sneaky today. So, my parents. Back to my parents. My dad worked at Cuddy Farms. Yucky place to work. Then when my mom got hurt, she didn't work anymore. I think I was in grade 6 when this all happened, and she fell and broke her tailbone, and then she never worked a day after that. She was always at home, and I used to come home for lunch, and my mom would make me lunch until I went to high school, and then she couldn't do that anymore because I had to take a bus to high school. And the public school, I could just walk to school, and then I would walk home for lunch every day that she was home. Before that, when she was working, obviously I had lunch. Sometimes I would walk home for lunch, but she didn't know that because Yvette stole my lunch money. And my mom never knew that Yvette would steal my lunch money to buy cigarettes. Yeah, she was one of those sisters. And I would never tell my mom because she would beat me up if I told my mom that she stole my lunch money. Because back then, I don't know, cigarettes were dirt cheap. I don't even remember how much she gave me for lunch. She would give me enough to get 2 hot dogs and a chocolate milk, probably. I don't even remember how much that was back then, but Yvette would steal it to buy cigarettes. But the kicker was she would steal my money, but make me go down to Mac's to go buy her the cigarettes before school. Yeah, one of them. And they would sell them to me, believe it or not, back then. A lot of times they'd give me a hassle about it, but like, I'm like, serious people, I'm not buying this for myself. I am buying it for my crazy sister, whatever. But that's what happened back then with her. That's a whole other story. Me and Yvette used to fight like cats and dogs growing up. But we love each other because she's my sister, right? But she was not very nice in her teenage years until she found Jesus, I guess you could call it. She started hanging around these Bible thumpers. My sister was really into like drinking and drugs when she first started high school. And then she met a guy and she totally got messed up with this guy. And then when she came back and she broke up with him, she found Jesus. I don't know. And then she started going back to school and she changed her life and she went back and she even went to university. But that's a whole other story of what happened to her at university. She never did finish. But there's a reason why. And she and me would fight like crazy. We had to share a room. And I tell you, these rooms are small in this house. I don't know what my mom was thinking. Anyway, I'd sleep the majority of my life, my childhood, on the couch because I did not want to share a room with her because she was mean. And then finally my mom decided to move our rooms. So this room that I have, my living room right now, my mom changed it into a bedroom for Yvette. And then my room was off to the side, which used to be Tyler's room. And it's a little room off to the side here that I wanted to make my craft room, but my sister decided to furnish it all with a bedroom set and all her junk from her other house. So yeah, well, I call it junk. She doesn't call it junk, but she has a room set up there. For what reason, I don't know. She calls it her room, but she never stays here. That's where Monique was staying when she was here. Well, then she went down to the basement, but then when Tyler and Courtney moved back home, she came back up here again, and that just annoyed the crap out of me. Because it's like right beside here. And you could hear her in that room as clear as day. So my mom made this her room, and then when my sister got mad at me, she'd be like, don't come in my room. I'm like, oh, I gotta come in your room to get to my room. Oh, it was a hot mess back when I was a kid, I tell you. But you live and learn from it all. But when my sister went to university, I moved into her bedroom. And she bought us both water beds. That was one thing my sister did. Like, she bought me a water bed as a child, and she bought me a water bed, and she bought herself a water bed. And then when she moved out to go to university, I just slept in her water bed because she had a queen size water bed, and I had a small one because my room wouldn't fit a big bed. And I ended up giving away that water bed to when I got married, to some a kid that I grew up with. His mom bought it off of me. So I think she paid me like a case of formula for it, because at the time I just had Sarah, and I could have used some formula. I don't even remember. But anyway, he bought it. I did like my water bed. It was, maybe that's why I have so much back problems. I don't know. Could it be because of my water bed? I don't know. Yvette doesn't seem to have back problems, and she had a water bed too. But I don't know. My mom hated the water bed. She always said that the house was going to cave in from the water beds, from the weight. And then after, when we fixed the basement, I understood why my mom thought that. But it is what it is. It did not break the house, obviously, because I'm still standing in it. My mom was a funny character, I tell you. She was funny. She was quite comical lady. I love her dearly, but she wasn't very nice sometimes. But I think everybody thinks that of their parents, do they not? Like, I hope my kids don't think that of me. But like my mom, oh, Gigi's snoring now. They're probably mad because I haven't taken them outside yet. My mom was, how do I explain? Kind of crazy, but funny. Very caring and loving. She was. She'd do anything for you. Anybody in need. My mom would be there to help you. She was very religious, very into the Catholic Church. Towards the end, I seemed to had forgotten how big an impact she was in the Portuguese community at church until her funeral. Because towards the end, my mom couldn't go to church anymore, so she never went to church. So I kind of forgot how she was loved at the church, you know what I mean? Until her funeral, and then they all come to her funeral, and then I remembered, oh, my mom was very rememberable of that. And like, me and my mom would talk every day on the phone on my days off, because back when I worked in the pharmaceutical company, it was the same deal as here. I would have days off through the week, so I'd either go visit my mom, and if I didn't go visit my mom, there'd always be a phone call, and we would talk for hours on the phone. I don't even remember what we would talk about, but we did talk for a long time. I enjoyed my phone calls with my mom. My mom was a kind soul, and when I got pregnant with Alyssa, which was not from my ex-husband, you know, in Portuguese community, that's considered a big no-no. You don't have sex before marriage, right? But obviously I was divorced, and obviously I was still seeing other people or whatever. And my mom of course was upset, but never held it against me. And she loved Alyssa with all her heart when Alyssa was born. And I don't know, she just felt sorry for us because, you know, Alyssa had no dad. I don't know. But she never turned her back on me. And my sister Helen thought for sure my mom would flip out, but it wasn't as bad as my sister Helen thought. Like, Helen's like, don't tell mom, you're gonna kill her, blah, 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 blah. No, my mom was stronger than she thought. So Alyssa got to know my mom for 3 years of her life, and then my mom passed away when Alyssa was 3. Worst day of my life, honestly. My mom was my everything. She was my rock. She was my financial, you know, rock. If I was ever in a bind, my mom would bail me out. You know what I mean? And now it's kind of like I have to do it on my own. But I also have like my sisters that have bailed me out a few times when it's been rough, especially when I got let go from the pharmaceutical place. If it wasn't for my sisters, you know, I made sure that my payments got paid on time with their help. And then, of course, when I got the money that I got, they got reimbursed. But until that money came in, I needed help. And my sisters were there to help me. They always have been there to help me through thick and thin. My brother too helped when he was alive. Not as much as my sisters, but my brother did help me a few times. I loved my brother dearly too, but me and my brother were not very close. Not like Helen and Yvette. Like, Helen was always there. When I was a child, she would take me camping. And she basically raised me with my parents. Like, every weekend I'd go camping with Helen at her trailer. She used to have like a seasonal spot in London at Fanshawe Park, and we would go there all the time. I would live in the pool because, you know me, I love water, and I would swim. And then I was so dark back then because that's all I do was be in the pool. And I'd be dark. And my kids, like, I haven't seen, well, yeah, Alyssa too, because when she went to Florida with Helen, she got super dark. But my other kids, like Sarah and Tyler, when they would go in the sun as kids, they would be dark just like I was. But like when Sarah and Tyler were still little, it was still time that they would go out and actually play, and the video games did not consume their life. It wasn't until later on in their lives that video games and everything and the internet started consuming their lives. And Alyssa never had that, oh, let's go out and play with my friends. Like, because she was born so far behind the other two that they're already grown up, and she was just their annoying little sister. You know what I mean? And Alyssa didn't have really anybody her age to play with because none of my friends had kids her age. So yeah, so it's not like she would go out, and there's no kids on the street. Now there is, but back then there wasn't any kids on the street for her to even play with, because they're all old Portuguese people on the street. The people across the road were from my mom's island too, and the ones at the end are from my mom's island. There's only really 2 Portuguese families left. Well, if you count the young guy, it would be 3 on the street. Before, it used to be all Portuguese but 1 house. Oh, no, 2, because of the shack. You know, the shack I talk about, where the young couple lives, that apparently the cops were there again 2 nights ago, so they must be back at fighting. Yada, yada, yada. Other than that, you never hear a hair from them until they start fighting. They fight like cats and dogs. I think those people should not drink or consume drugs. I don't know what they do over there, but whatever they do, it is not working for them. Clearly. But who am I? Who am I? I'm just Lizzie. Lizzie's World of Gems on YouTube. That's all I am. Not that they know that. Could you imagine? So I have something coming in the mail. So I'm going to stop. That's my story time. I'm done story timing about my childhood. I'll pick up from where I left off. And next Friday's, where did I leave off? I left off at, I don't know. Somebody tell me in the comments where I left off. Because I don't remember, because I have brain fog as per always. But I will continue on about my childhood next time. But I would like to talk about a little bit before I let you guys go about what I ordered off of Amazon. I ordered something off of Amazon and it's coming. And I told Lisa that I would do that challenge that she challenged me on. But I was waiting for one thing. It says it's coming on the 19th. Which is, I don't know what day it is. But it's kind of like a little competition I got going on. Well, someone at work mentioned this craft to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've already tried that craft. And he's like, oh, it's my boss, Dave. Okay, so I bought it because of Dave, and he was on, oh, it's way better than, you know, sticking little pieces of plastic on a canvas. You know, the way he talks. So he says he ordered one. Whether or not he's lying to me or not, I'm going to call his bluff when I go back on Friday. That's next Friday. And see if he actually bought it. Because I want to do like a little competition with him and see us both complete one. And I don't want to give it away of what it is yet until I get it from Amazon, and I will unbox it on the channel. And I'll show you the one that I got like a year ago. So that's coming up maybe next week if it comes in. And yeah, I want to, it's going to be like a little competition with my dear old boss. A little friendly competition. And if he better not be lying to me about this, because I'm going to be mad. If he is lying about it, I'm going to make him do one of mine. I almost gave it away. Oh, I'm such a bad not giving it away kind of person. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I'm almost done here, so I want to finish this. Yes, I want to finish this before I let you guys go, because at the end I am going to reveal how much I got done of this painting. I decided that's what I want to do now on all my WIP&Chats, just because I can. Just because I can and I want to, and that's what I'm going to do. So I want to go some point this week, and I don't know what day I'm gonna go. Maybe Tuesday, because Staples will be opened up again. I want to get a binder or a book. I want to start like journaling, kind of like. And I gotta figure out, or maybe I can go to Michael's. Yes, because Michael's will be opened. And I want to start journaling, and I kind of gonna do like journaling. I don't know. I have to look up on, maybe not the journaling is how some people do it. I do want to do one of like my week of what I want to do. But the week, it's going to be all about diamond painting, like the week of which painting on what day that I want to stress on work on, and which days I'm going to videotape what. And then I want to do a section for orders, what I ordered. I want to get some paper so I can print off like pictures and stick the pictures on of what I ordered and stuff, just to make it all neat and clear. So when I do a review of the product at the end, I have something to fall back on, because right now I'm just winging them and I feel like I forget things, and then like, how should I say, like I forget stuff and I feel like they're not long enough. But I feel like sometimes people like short, quick videos. Like sometimes people don't like watching a 30-minute review on a product, right? Like sometimes you feel like, oh, like how can you possibly talk about something that you finished for that? I don't know. Mine are usually short and sweet and to the point, but maybe not enough detail. I don't know. I have to work on that a little bit better. I know where I have to, where my weaknesses are, you know, kind of like, per se. And I want to work on them better, because I want to make this entertaining for all of you people to watch. I don't want to be boring. I try not to be boring, but maybe I am a little kooky. That I will admit. I was always like, I don't know why, but I'm always picked on to be made fun of, and I don't know what makes people want to do that. Maybe it is because crazy things come out of my mouth. I don't know. But look at guys. I am so done. I am so done. I am so done with this. Doesn't it look? I'll turn off the light, then you'll see the prettiness. Much better with all the gappies. You don't see the gappies with the light off. There you have it. I will take a picture of the area that I have completed so far. I'm going to work on this section today and maybe start on the next row, hopefully. I don't know. It depends on how much I get motivated to do this today and find something to watch. I have been catching up on some YouTube videos that I have not watched. And then I was watching a WIP&Chat last night. And then my eyes started to get very strongly snoozing. I don't know if it was the person's voice or I don't know what the heck it was. And it wasn't Rachel. Rachel did not put me to sleep. I actually watched all of Rachel's in full. I so enjoyed it. I love her WIP&Chats. They're one of my top faves. For sure. Oh gosh. Look at. I think I need a new blade on my X-Acto knife because it's getting very dull. Very dull indeed. Alright, I think that's it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this WIP&Chat. I'm hoping it's 40 minutes, but I don't know if it will be. If not, I'm sorry, and I'll try better next time. But I feel like I talked your guys' ears off long enough, and I'll see you guys next time. But wait to see the ending with a little bit of music. Woo! See you guys. Till next time. Take care, everyone. Bye. Well, folks, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you like, please subscribe to my channel. I'd be super tickle pink. And remember to hit that notification bell and it will remind you whenever I load up a video. And till next time, take care, everyone. Bye.